Hey you guys, this is Eric and we're in Clovis, California. It's June 29th and look at this. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that's 5:12 in the afternoon on July 29th. It's 107 degrees outside. Yikes. This is definitely the irrigated desert. So I've been hanging out in downtown Old Town Clovis, and we're going back now. I'm just holding this camera in my lap, literally, and my windshield is dirty. So we'll try to do this without getting into an accident. So because I'm doing this, I'm not paying attention to a GPS or anything like that. I don't even have it going. So hopefully I'll figure out how to get home. So there's a lot of new schools and a lot of new, like, it looks like government-sponsored buildings around. So I mean, there's upkeep and infrastructure. And I'm here visiting my sister, and right now we're in an older part of the town, so all this was probably built in the 70s and 80s, 90s. But where we're going, you know, everything's pretty new. My sister's house was from I think the early 2000s, 2006, something like that. It's pretty new for a home. She lives in a gated community. I don't know why I feel like I should get on the sunny side. So I recognize a lot of stuff here already, and I've only been here a week. I've been here before, though, of course. I'm starting to not necessarily need to follow a GPS anymore. But I do miss stuff too, you know. But look at this! Look at the size of the street. So this street is like, this is like the Autoput in in Belgrade or in Serbia. This is just a street. You can land a plane on this thing. And there's a bike lane. That's what this white dotted area is up here. It's a storage place. My mom actually had things stored there. Truck barreling past me. He's upset that I didn't let him go first, maybe. Oh no, maybe not. He's cool. So my mom used to live inside these units here. Up here somewhere. So they were probably built in the 70s, maybe 80s, something like that. I'll take you to see some shopping here and how just immense the parking lots are and how vast and spread out everything is, you know. Everything's single story, maybe 2-story max. And you just don't need it. There's so much room still. And you know, honestly, California just has endless amounts of room. The problem is they don't have water, so it's the desert, right? And honestly, there's not that much that you can see from the highway that hasn't been utilized, like as in farmland, or so it's irrigated. It's not just, you know, raw land that you could just do something on. And besides the fact, you know, it's either government owned land, which you couldn't just do anything on anyways, or it's privately owned land. There's very little, honestly, I mean, I don't know that there is any, you know, land that's not claimed in America. I mean, there might be, but it's not anywhere anyone wants to be, that's for sure. It's kind of a long light. Here we go. There's quite a few lakes around here, though. You know, what they did is everything's unnatural here. That's the other thing, you know. The lakes, they're like Lake Ada, you know, Ada Tsegalia. It's like that, where it's been man that has, you know, captured the water, kind of like, it's not a natural flowing lake. And they have a lot of that here because all the water in California, I mean, 97% comes from other states like Idaho and Washington and Colorado. That's where our water comes from. It comes that far. You should watch the movie Chinatown. It's the backstory to the movie Chinatown. It's fascinating. I mean, all this area, it would be uninhabitable. And if something happened to that water supply, I mean, this area, like Las Vegas and so many other areas that rely on water that's not native, it's not coming from here. And honestly, I don't know where Belgrade gets its water, but shit, the Danube and the Sava are right there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's lots of underground water too. I don't know where the city gets its water from, but I don't think there's a water problem in Serbia. At least not in Belgrade. It didn't seem to be. Not like here. Here, there's times that when it doesn't rain and doesn't, you know, replenish the aquifers and that sort of thing. After a couple seasons of that, then they, you know, cry drought, and the state will enforce, you know, drought measures that have to do with water savings. You're not allowed to do this. Can't wash your car. You can't, you know, utilize the water the way you'd like to utilize the water. It's just honestly, it's fascinating to me that it all works and how well it works. Just turn the faucet and out comes this water. It doesn't kill you, even if it is bad, you know, even if it is full of fluoride and other things that they're hiding from us, on purpose or not. But it's amazing to me how well plumbing works. So this car, luckily I got to replace the belts. I noticed that the belt was missing from the air conditioning, And it wasn't a $1,200 problem like the quote. It was more like a $20 problem. So luckily I got to replace that on this vehicle, and I'm running the AC right now. Otherwise it'd be a lot less fun. So you see these neighborhoods, how we're on a main street, main thoroughfare, and the neighborhood is encapsulated by a wall that surrounds all the, single family dwellings. So each one of these is like a completely preconceived project that's been built, by purpose. Not just what often happens, where a developer will buy the land and he'll separate the properties, making individual lots, and then anybody can come along and buy it, and anybody's architecture can be on it. But what happened here is probably a corporation bought the land with purpose, and they built huge tracts at a time. Huge. This thing happened all over America after World War II. This has been the plan, or the model that they've used. They would, just build neighborhood by neighborhood, further and further out from the center, and until it got so far that there's new centers. I need to go down a street called Frontier, I think, which might be the next one. But actually, I think before we even go back, since we're cruising, so where my sister lives, this housing development's probably been around now for less than 20 years. Let's just say that. Maybe only 15, or maybe only 10. I don't know, something that's very new. But so it's at the outskirts of all this other stuff that's been built over the last long time now. So from her house, literally, 5 minutes away, and you're in unused land or old farms and just not developed properties, put it that way. And you still see orchards. Like now we're about to drive through an orchard. I'm not sure what this is. I don't see any fruit on it. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. So here's another new pocket, new section of strategically placed businesses, so the locals don't have to go too far to get their gas in McDonald's, right?